Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Alhan, and the question that I had on my mind yesterday was, will I ever speak English like a native speaker? I have been learning English for the past 20-something years, and just in the past 3 days, as I was talking to two friends, I came across around 5 new vocabulary just by having a casual conversation with them. And it made me think, will I ever speak English like a native speaker? I decided to make this video so that I can come back to it every single time I want to improve my own English, even though I use it on a daily basis in my work as an interpreter and in the society. The moment I step outside of my place, it's all English. So it's worth working on and improving as much as possible. If you are a native English speaker or you speak English like a native English speaker, then probably this video is not for you. But if you're like me, who has been trying to learn English for the past year or two or 20-something years, and you still feel that there is room for improvement, there is still a lot of vocabulary for you to learn, then let's chat about this together and figure out what we can do to improve our English. So I'll take you back to my childhood and to how I learned English. I was born and raised in an Arab country. When I entered school, I started with a private school, which taught English from the start, from grade 1. I changed schools at grade 3 into the public system. And in the public system, English was taught from grade 5. So for 2 years, I didn't study any English. And when I started again in grade 5, it was the same things I have learned in grade 1 in the private school. So my English stayed behind for a while. And when I was in middle school, I thought I improved a little bit. Maybe I understood grammar more. But when it came to speaking about things that were not discussed in the classroom, I was not able to do that. When two people spoke in front of me who were native English speakers, I could not understand what they were saying. So after finishing grade 10 is when I thought, oh my goodness, I have 2 more years, I'll finish school. What if I decide to do my university in an English-speaking country? I don't speak English at all. So it was during the summer months, the 2 to 3 summer months that we had, in which my parents have enrolled me in a course with the British Council. Then after the 1 month, I thought, well, I still can't speak. Yes, I improved a little bit, but not enough. I did 2 more months with a private teacher. But with that private teacher, we would read literary English. So it was a higher standard English than what's spoken amongst people. And it was very difficult. After those 2 months, school started, and I thought I still feel I did not learn much. But in the first English lesson after going back to school, I thought, oh my God, I understand everything the teacher is saying, no problem. I understand everything in the books, no problem. I don't need to check the dictionary every sentence or two. And I thought the reason was because my brain was so challenged in the summer with the literary English, I was able to understand what's spoken amongst people. Then my first experience of where I had to use English in speaking was when I traveled after finishing grade 11 into a country that spoke another language, but they spoke English as well with foreigners. So I was able to communicate with them in English and practice my English skills. However, I got used to a certain accent. Time passed. I did my master's degree in England. That was also a very humbling and unique experience for me to see, oh my gosh, I don't understand much. It was difficult at the beginning, but then I got used to the British accent, and after about 6 months or so, I was able to speak in the British accent as well. It was such a beautiful experience. I think I forgot that accent right now, but I might be able to give it a try. Let me know if you'd like to hear me speak in British English. A year or so after that, it was when we settled in Canada, but my first stop was in Montreal. In Montreal, people do speak English, or the majority of them speak English. But what I did not realize is that the majority of those who spoke English spoke it with a French accent. So when we moved to Ontario, to an Anglophone town, I had challenges understanding people. I had to ask them to repeat themselves over and over again because it was a totally different accent to what I was used to. So again, it was immersion. Even today, comparing myself to when I first moved to this Anglophone town, I do feel that I have improved a lot more. I do feel that I am starting to use a lot of the terminologies or vocabulary that people here use. I wouldn't have known how to use them before living in an English-speaking environment. So what has worked for me was living and being immersed in the language by having to use it on a daily basis. Okay, so this was my story. Did my English improve? Yes. Does it still have room to improve? Oh, yes. And here are the things that I suggest to myself to do, and I hope it benefits you as well. 1. Read more books. Reading will definitely enhance my vocabulary, and I should do more of it. Is it easy to fit it into my busy schedule with 2 young children? No. That's why I use audiobooks a lot more, and that's why my comprehension has improved. But it's still different when I see the words. I would have the time to find a word that I don't understand in the dictionary, because when I'm listening to an audiobook, it's very easy for me to let go of words that I don't understand and try to understand it from the context, which I usually succeed in doing. But I think if I want to really take my English to the next level of being like a native speaker, it's important to understand every single word. So that's something I tell myself to do more of. Read books. 2, watch more movies. Next time I should have a notebook, a pen with me, and write down any new words or new expressions that I would hear. So that's another useful tip as well that I would enjoy doing in my language improvement process. 3, conversations. So find people that you are able to converse with, not just about the weather and the food, but about deeper topics. See what they think about how to bring up their children, what their aspirations are in life, what they want to do when they retire, what their thoughts are about spirituality, and so much more. So pick some topics that are a little bit more challenging for you to talk about in English and find someone whom you can talk with about those topics. Something I have learned from the past 3 days is when I'm sitting with a friend, I should have a notebook with me or just a small notepad and a pen and write down the things that I don't understand, and I am not shy to ask the friend of what they mean. I know it might be disruptive to the conversation, so I wouldn't ask about the spelling, but I'll just write what I think the spelling is, I'll write the meaning, keep the conversation going, and then come back home and research what that meant. So that's another way, because now I have forgotten most of the words I've heard from those friends who have told me their meanings. Maybe I remember 2 of them. That's why it would be helpful to have a notepad with me next time. I have mentioned audiobooks, something I do. Podcasts is another great way of improving your language. The last method that I love doing, and I have done more actively in the past before I got busy with children, was songs. I still listen to songs, but it would be more helpful to be more active about learning the language through songs. And there will be a video just dedicated to that coming up soon. So don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when this video is out, and please leave me comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you have been doing. If you already speak a language, have been speaking it for a number of years, you are very confident in it, you're fluent in it, but there's still more to do. There's still room for you to aspire to become like a native speaker. Tell me those suggestions or recommendations that you have in the comment section below, and hope to see you next week. Bye!